Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I'm the creator and author of the Get Resultsology system and a dedicated accountability coach. My mission is to empower solopreneurs to unlock their true potential, boost their income, and achieve extraordinary success by maximizing productivity, streamlining their businesses, and aligning their goals with their authentic vision and purpose. If you're ready to turn ambition into action and transform your goals into reality, you're in exactly the right place. My special guest today is Laura Wright. Laura is a powerhouse entrepreneur and sales coach who knows firsthand what it takes to build and rebuild success from the ground up. After leaving her corporate job to help her mother build a real estate empire, Laura scaled her business to multi-7 figures, only to face devastating setbacks during the 2008 market crash, leaving her $500,000 in debt. From that rock bottom moment, Laura reinvented herself, discovering her true passion, empowering women to master sales and claim their worth unapologetically. Today, as the founder of her second 7-figure business, Laura helps brilliant women turn their services into thriving, lucrative enterprises. Her mission is simple yet transformative. When smart, powerful women hold true wealth, they change the world. Get ready to be inspired by Laura's story of resilience, reinvention, and how to embrace your unique gifts to thrive at your highest potential. Laura, welcome.
Thank you, Robin. I'm so grateful to be here. I love your excitement, your energy, and I'm excited that we get to support all the listeners. So let's dive in.
Absolutely. Let's dive in. Whereabouts are you, Laura?
So I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm actually in a little place called Towson, but we always say Baltimore. And I love it because we are in this wonderful location where it's not too hot in the summer, not too cold in the winter, and we can get out to the mountains easily and to the beach. So I love being here. Plus, very close to New York, very close to DC, so I can hop across the pond when I need to, and I can get to our West Coast when I need to.
Wow, that sounds brilliant. And you've really thought about where you live, haven't you? You've given that a lot of thought. Perfect. We don't have any mountains where I live. And in Devon, we have 2 moors in Devon, but they're definitely not mountains. But the rest I can relate to. We've got beach and countryside, and the climate sounds a little bit similar to yours. So it certainly, as you know, it always rains where I am. But apart from that, always rains.
That is true.
Never leave the house without my umbrella. That's a myth. I just get wet, but that is true. People think that we do. All right. So are we ready to do the 5 questions in 7 minutes, Laura?
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's start the clock. And away it goes. So first, Laura, please, could you tell me who is your ideal client?
So I love this because we've actually named her. Her name is Sarah. She's called 7-Figure Sarah. And my ideal client is this woman who has created success in her life. Usually she's over the 6-figure mark. Oftentimes my clients have made it to 500,000 in their business, a really great mark, but some setback has happened. Either life has gotten in the way or an internal or external situation, and her income has dropped. And usually what I find is when they show up on my doorstep, they are undercharging, over delivering, and they do not have a leveraged business model. So my ideal client, we sit down and figure out, is she going to run an agency? How are we going to raise her rates? How do we restructure how she delivers her business? And we turn her into 7-Figure Sarah. That's my goal.
Perfect. I love that. And especially when you name your avatar, I just think that, oh, wow, this lady really knows what she's doing and really given it a lot of thought. I love that.
Well, it's funny because she's a real live person. And consequently, by naming her, I now have, I think, 4 Sarahs in one of my programs because I'm so clear and attracted to my ideal person. Even though she's an avatar, she now has become a real life human being.
Oh, and I'm sure that she gets generous royalties as well.
Yes.
So you've already touched on it in a big way, but maybe could you elaborate, please, on the problems that you solve?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I do is I help women master selling high ticket with ease so that they can break that time for money barrier. They get the income rise that they actually need. And I help them actually scale with simplicity. And what I mean by that is people tend to overcomplicate their businesses. Like one of my highest ticket programs has two little tiny things in it, but it's very direct. It gives my clients exactly what they need, and I don't overcomplicate it. I don't use a lot of systems and a lot of high tech back end in my business. So that's really what I'm doing is I'm helping them figure out this way that they can sell with ease and scale with simplicity so that they free themselves up. They can actually be the CEO. They can live the life they want to live and the money comes in. Those are important parts.
Yeah, especially the last part, because then the rest just drops
Mhm.
into place nicely, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does.
So that's brilliant. So this is a bit of a cheeky question, but I always think the answer to this can be really helpful. So what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them solve the problems that you've described?
Yeah, I think the big number one thing is I'm going to say it in two directions. One is ask for more. So every time you sit down and you put out your rates, just remember there's somebody out there who has a quarter of the skill you do, a quarter of the heart that you do that is charging 10 times what you're charging. So ask for more. Usually it's ask for what's appropriate. And the second side is really understand what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do. I think one of the hardest things when I'm working, especially with women, is helping them say no to things that break their boundaries and really only say yes to what they desire. If there's a fear that comes in that if I don't take what's in front of me, I won't have enough. And what I find when I help my clients really hold the line and stand in their power and say yes to only what they want, it's remarkable how more of that shows up and less of what they don't doesn't show up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it very easy to make decisions sometimes where previously you might have erred. Having the ability to just say, no, that doesn't fit my outcome is really easy.
Yeah,
Even though you
that's
might have
true.
if you weren't clear in the past, you may have erred and ended up saying yes and then taking on too much.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
when you exhaust yourself and that's when you don't get where you want to go.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you. I love that. So now we know a little bit more about what you do. Let's talk about goal busting, which is the name of the obviously of the podcast, meaning how do you make the best use of your productive time, Laura, to achieve your own business goals? So can you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their own productivity habits?
Yeah, there's one thing that I say, it's DDDD. Here's what I mean. Delete, decide, delegate, and do. And what this means is oftentimes, again, we are just doing what's in front of us. So when something shows up on my plate, the first thing I say is, can I delete this? Do I just need to not do it? If I can't delete it, if it does need to be done, I decide that it needs to be done. If I've decided that it needs to be done, the next layer I look at is who else can do it? Can I delegate this? Can somebody else do it? 9 times out of 10, if it's not something like it's a bodily function, somebody else can do what you're doing. That's a fun one. And then the do part goes last. And when I use that lens, what it helps me do is laser focus. And I don't do a lot of activities that aren't productive activities.
Wow, I'm so glad I got through the first two of those, and you're here on our podcast. We've not been deleted or delegated. That's perfect, unless you are actually a clone of your other self.
I'm AI.
Yeah. Oh, don't joke about that. That's coming. Okay, perfect. And so finally, I love this question because I never know what's going to come up, and it adds a lot of variety. So,
Mhm.
what should I have asked you today, Laura, that I didn't? And obviously, your answer, please.
Yeah. So I would ask me, what do you actually really need for success? Like, what do you really need? And I'm going to say it's two things. One, you need to be willing to take risks. Most of my highest achieving women that I work with and a few amazing men, when I say this is the leap you need to take, they jump and take it. They are willing to take the risk. And the other side of that, and again, where I've seen success and my other clients have seen success, is how do you keep going? Because I firmly believe that businesses don't fail. An entrepreneur just runs out of steam or gives up. And so you have to be willing to know, like, have a great support network. both with mentorship, with skills and knowledge, with your finances so that you can keep going. So take risks and be willing to keep going when it gets hard, because it will get hard. And if you can do both of those together, we plug in at anything and you can have great success.
Ooh, I've got chills going up the back of my neck with that one. That's such good advice, such good advice. And it is something that I very strongly believe in. And I'll tell you after the broadcast, the phrase I use to keep myself going, it's probably not broadcastable, but let's just say
I can't wait.
I keep
That's
going.
a cliffhanger. I need to hear it immediately. And then I'll keep it quiet.
Well, let's just say for our listeners, it's a phrase not original to me. It was originated by the wartime Prime Minister Winston Churchill after he'd suffered a devastating defeat at sea, and it looked very grim. And he just said, well, we'll just KBO. And I'll let our listeners look that up, because I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm too polite. But I use that all the time. Yep. Oh, I don't like that. KBO. KBO. So, Laura, that's enough about me. So let's how can people find you? And do you have, I always ask the cheeky question, do you have a nice valuable free resource that they might be able to get from you as well, and start that connection with you, please?
I do. So come find me over my website. It's laurawrightofficial.com. And then I have a little gift for you if you go to laurawrightofficial.com/gift. And what this gift is, it's a PDF that's all about how to overcome objections. Because I talk a lot about how to do high ticket sales. And the number one thing you need to understand is how to overcome your own objections to selling at a high level, and how to walk somebody else through resistance and how to help them overcome objections so you can actually close the sale. So come grab my gift. I'd also say come hang with me on LinkedIn, Laura Wright. I'm all things epic at sales. That's my company, but I'm a real life human. If you message me, you will hear back from me. In my land of DDD, personal connection is high in my desire. So I almost always, give me grace in case I miss one, but I almost always give personalized return messages to everyone who reaches out to me.
I'm heading there right now. I want to connect. Absolutely. That sounds brilliant. And I particularly like the fact you're dealing with objections, but not too many people think about dealing with your internal objections. Mm-hmm. And yet that's huge. That's actually
everything.
That's everything, isn't it? It's like the last 5% is, oh yeah, this is how you deal with their objections, and they'll either buy or they won't at the end of the day. But you've got to actually ask the question. You've got to be prepared to ask the question, and there's all sorts of stuff that comes up there. So I love that you've produced that, and it's a freebie. Thank you.
It's freebie. You're welcome.
Laura, it's been an absolute pleasure and delight. We talked about what happens if we overrun, we'll get bonus added material. Well, we didn't overrun, but I do feel like we've had a lot of bonus added material anyway within the content. So thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, Robin. It's been great to be here, and I'm excited to give just a little bit of something to all the Goalbusters listeners. And my hope is that they get what they need and they go take action.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Laura. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate, and review it on your favorite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination, and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.